that's kind of the process that the hemp space is in right now, is finding the right strains that extract the best for certain different processes. Like when we were at the farm, they were telling us like, oh, these strains are going to be grown for here.
Right.
So can you explain the differences on, the different hemp
variety.
flowers that are?
So I mean, from what I took, why they do so many different, varieties of hemp is people have different needs, and then also they want to kind of hedge their risk a little bit, because some of these plants may spike up, some of these plants, so they are really trying to make sure that everything is okay. And then some people may want to have a lower CBD, a lower price input material. Yes. So I think, in my opinion, they're probably just trying to, satisfy it all. I mean, they can, since they know what they're doing at this point, that it's pretty easy to just add a couple more lines, it looks like.
And it's crazy because there was just grass everywhere, and then the grass had to essentially shift into just straight dirt, clean dirt.
Yeah, they tilled it up and then laid it out, all that plastic. Like every single one of those rows is a tractor going up, down, up, down. I
am so privileged and honored to just be here in this wonderful R&D lab here, and down there behind us, there's just this huge facility that has all the flower, the extraction, their other lab, like their real,
This is where we figure out everything on a development level and figure out, how can we optimize, what can we implement, and then we take it down to the big.
And then that's why you got the smaller guys.
Right, exactly.
And then what are these machines right here behind us?
So they're missing a piece. They're missing these two right here, but this will be like a big a round bottom holding flask that you pump in through this top. And as this is rolling, we heat it up to a certain temperature. It evaporates off whatever's at that specific boiling point, pulls it up in here into the condenser. And these coils are set at a certain temperature to condense that back down.
What temperature are you?
Depends on what you're stripping. Out? Let's say if it's ethanol, we'll put it, around 75 C. So, that's just for ethanol per se. So it'll boil off or evaporate off, condense, come down in here. You just collect it off, and then after that's completely done rolling, you'll have very little residual solvents left, and it will just be what you would like.
So the machines downstairs are like 4 or 5 times the size of this. They're.
Yeah, I think they're
big,
I want to say they're 50 liters, but they may be 25 liters. I get the two levels confused.
So how much can you be producing out of, say, that one that we saw downstairs that was in the corner?
I want to say they pull like around 30 kilos of isolate or 30 kilos of winterized oil out of one.
Can you run us through that process again? Like from like how much you're losing from start of this biomass to the isolate?
It's going to vary a little bit from material to material, but I can give you kind of like a rough estimate.
Generally speaking, yeah.
So extraction.
Yeah, that's important too, because the genetics of the plant will decide how much oil you're getting out of it.
The quality of the material going into the process is a huge factor in the yields and the quality of the material coming out.
Yes. So, and I was really surprised because when we were at the hemp farm and I was just touching the biomass and stuff, like feeling the nugs, I was pleasantly surprised at how nice they were. Even these, I mean, the nug structure on this is really nice.
Good looking cannabis plant.
About that loss.
Right. So for the initial extraction, I'm pretty sure we are around 85 to 90%. So like we said yesterday, if we've got 1,000 pounds of a biomass, 85 to 95%, and given the potency, that's gonna determine the yield for the actual raw crude. So with that being said, I think we're getting around 80% to 85% winterization. I could have my numbers off just a hair because it fluctuates a little bit. But then distillation, I'm pretty sure we're around 70 to 65 to 75%. And then isolate, we are around 60 to 70%. So what that means is yield. So if you're putting in a kilo and it's 70%, you're going to get 700 grams back.
That's pretty good.
Hey, we're very happy with it, honestly. We made leaps and bounds. That reminds me, I'll let you get a handful of the fresh biomass and then a handful of spent biomass. And then, you can gauge, just by holding in your hand, that's how much, cannabinoids and just plant matter is coming off this plant. Because once the extraction's done, you've got your raw crude in your buckets. Right. Those cans are then emptied again, and that material is so light because everything was just taken off of it. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
So the same 600-pound bag may weigh 200 pounds.
Right.
These cans have, a screen at the top and the bottom, and, this liquid nitrogen is coming up through the bottom of it, pushing through every little crevice, getting all in through that, and then that screen stops the material. but allows the
oils,
liquid CO2 to go through again. And so we'll recover all the residual CO2 back into the system, collect the oil, empty the cans, and then we're ready to go again. Typically there's cans ready, so you just pull them out and put them back in.
Nice,
It is a process.